Well, what about energy? I mean, how much sort of energy and motivation do you think you need to sort of to see this, to get this baby off the ground, and then to kind of keep it going and growing?
So I think the first energy phase is one of, sleep, get ready for it, and then in at the deep end with a ton of adrenaline, and probably that will culminate in almost a breaking point moment, which I certainly had after about a year or so. We, as I say, start of Jan 2015, got to November, and then was physically and mentally at a breaking point. And that was a point where coaching and a bit of a pivot in terms of what was sustainable, what I wanted in a more sustainable way in terms of energy. So I think there's almost like a startup phase energy, and then there's a more sustainable scale-up phase of energy.
I kept operating at that very high intensity energy level for much longer than I needed to or should have. And it sounds like you learned that lesson much more quickly than I did.
Making notes of how you're doing, where you are on your journey is hugely helpful, because you might find you're exhausted by March and things seem to be going all over the place, but by August, actually, that's very helpful to reflect on where you were then and where you are now. I think that's a great tip that someone shared with me. Lean into it being a tough year, and just because it's a tough start doesn't mean it's always going to be like that.
The highs are the highs are fabulous. I mean, when you're a founder, as opposed to being a really successful partner in a much bigger firm, of which we both have loads of those people. And sometimes I look at them from afar and go, oh my God, you have such an amazing life. You're surrounded by, you do amazing work. And I think, why do we keep doing this? Because sometimes it can feel really hard. And why we keep doing it is because sometimes it's utterly awesome, and you can have long periods of years where doing what we do as founders can just be the most awesome and self-fulfilling and exhilarating experience. But also there are tough times as well. And I think there's a real resilience that you have to build on a human and organizational level. And also a scale, which brings us back to your point, a scale and an infrastructure that allows you to get through and to weather the more difficult times.